It's my current belief that within the Cardano ecosystem, there is a 100x opportunity for you to turn your money, say like $1,000 into $100,000 over 2024 and 2025, basically like the rest of this crypto cycle. I fully believe, and I am deploying my own ADA, my own capital to do this strategy. So in this video, I just want to share the strategy I'm currently using and how I am planning to attempt to 100x my current ADA, my current money, in order to turn $1,000 into something like $100,000, okay? So there's two sides to this story that you need to understand. In order to get 100x, there's two 10x's happening, and they're happening at the same time. The first 10x possible in the Cardano ecosystem right now is just simply buying Cardano ADA. If you buy ADA today around like that low 40 cents, I fully believe that you will have a 10x opportunity just buying and holding that ADA. In my opinion, Cardano this cycle, sometime next year, it's kind of like my belief, it's early next year or mid next year, sometime next year, Cardano is going to get to above its $3 all-time high. It'll get to $4 and $5. So if you buy Cardano today, I fully believe that you have the opportunity to 10x that money. If you put $1,000 in, it'll turn to $10,000. Now, I think that Cardano is holding really well on the 0.38, the 38 cents and the 48 cents, or the 38 cents and the 40 cent area. If we go below that, we'll have a different discussion. But I think right now, Cardano is doing really well at maintaining this bull market that it's in. So that's the first 10x available to you. If you buy Cardano today, you wait like 6 to 12 months, you're gonna have a 10x. I believe that. I'm a heavy investor in the Cardano ecosystem. You know, that's my opinion, and that's one thing that I've been doing, is just holding some ADA. So if you buy ADA today or you have ADA at this price, I believe you will 10x it. The second 10x, that's the first part of the strategy. The second 10x is going to happen at the same time, but you're going to do a little bit of a leverage on top of your Cardano, and this is going to get you the potential at another 5 to 10x or more, which is where you will get the total 100x strategy here. So if you were to go buy Cardano today and hold it, you can get a 10x over this cycle. But if you were to go buy Cardano today and change it into some Cardano native assets, I believe that is where you have the potential to have a 100x. The reason I say this is on multiple Cardano tokens, multiple Cardano native assets that did really well last year when we had our 2023 DeFi summer, when everything and meme coins were going crazy. The DeFi ecosystem was blowing up, the total value locked was blowing up, and especially the meme coins like SNEC were growing just last year, at this time last year. When that happened, it really helped show the potential value of some of the DeFi tokens within our ecosystem, what they're providing, what their potential use cases can be, what their potential price targets can be. A lot of those tokens found a new all-time high. Now, since then, we've had just this continuous brutal end of the bear market, beginning of the bull market, and as Cardano has gone down back to that 40 cent level, these Cardano native assets have dropped. Cardano went from like 70 cents now down to 40 cents. These Cardano native assets have suffered and they have depleted, and things like World Mobile Token have done really well, but as WMT has done well, other tokens have bled against ADA. So the big potential right now in the Cardano ecosystem for the second 10x is to invest, instead of just investing in ADA, take that ADA and convert it into solid Cardano native assets that have solid fundamentals, that have been around, and that did really well in 2023. My whole strategy here is taking the products that did well last year, that have good fundamentals, that did well in a bear market, have good fundamentals, good tokenomics, and are good for retail investors and good for the Cardano ecosystem, and buy them now while they're at a low on their ADA pair. When they're on a low on an ADA pair, they have the potential to 10x back to their all-time high on the ADA pair, while the ADA, the underlying ADA, also 10x's. This means that the money you have in a Cardano native asset 10x's against ADA, but it 100x's against the dollar or the euro, right? So this is a little bit complex, and I want to make sure everyone understands. But when you're buying a Cardano native asset, you're buying it against Cardano, you're buying it against ADA, right? So you have like Lenfi-ADA. That is a Cardano native pair. And when you are buying against ADA, ADA still has the potential to go up. So on these charts, when we show Lenfi versus ADA or Milk versus ADA, my theory here is that Lenfi, Indy, Milk, Hunt, these have the potential to 5 to 10x against ADA, while ADA 10x's against the dollar. So if that series of events happen, if both of those happen, your LenFi, your Hunt, your Indy, that 50 to 100x's against the dollar. So we have a dual system going on here where these Cardano native assets are going up against Cardano, going up against ADA. They have the potential to because they've done it before and nothing's really changed, while ADA goes up against the USD. This is how you get your 50, your 100x, your 150x in the Cardano ecosystem. Now, this is not only reserved to the Cardano ecosystem. You can do this in any layer 1 or any layer 2, any ecosystem really that has a DeFi infrastructure. But in Cardano today, right now, I think Cardano itself is undervalued. I think the media has undervalued it quite well, which is good for investors. And then on top of that, a lot of people are not looking at these Cardano native assets, or they're looking at meme coins maybe, or they're looking at NFTs, or they're looking at newer DeFi projects. My whole thing is I want to see what DeFi project has done well in 2023, has shown success, has continued to innovate, has a community, has a product, has continued to work, right, is one of the leading projects in their space, and then has, you know, done poorly against ADA during these last 6 to 12 months. These are the criteria I'm looking at, and I want to show you a couple of examples of these tokens that I'm looking at on Cardano. So the first one's going to be Hunt, or I'll just give you a list here. The ones I would look at are Hunt, LenFi, Indy, Milk, although Milk you need to be a little bit careful of because like today I don't really use MuesliSwap to do swaps. I use Hunt. So the question you have to ask yourself if you're going to buy Milk or a DEX token is, do I think other people are going to buy this, and do I think that'll make it go up in value? Because back when Milk did really well in 2023, Hunt and the Hunt token weren't really around as much. They weren't really as used. They weren't really as known in the ecosystem. So Milk did well because of that, but will it do well again? That's a question I've been battling with myself. So these are the tokens, or any token that fits into this category of doing really well in 2023, has come down and is back at a good buying price. Nothing has really changed with a lot of these tokens. So my theory is they do well again. These are the tokens I'm looking at. These are the setups I'm looking at. And the main setup I want to look at is I want to look at this on monthly and weekly time bases. Not today, not hourly, not minute, none of that stuff. That's way too short of a time frame. But if you pull this strategy out and you do it on the weeks, the months, or the 3 days on Tap Tools, and you see the overall trend of where these are going with MACDs, standard MACDs, standard RSIs, standard moving averages. I use the 20, the 50, and the 200 simple moving average. If you look at these standard basic things, these very, very rudimentary and basic indicators, you have what I think is a good potential for success. The reason I think that these basic indicators can work in Cardano is because if something's not, like, we're such a niche community, it's really you and me trading against ourselves, or you and me trading right now, and then as the masses come back in a year, like, they just don't have the knowledge. They don't have the understanding of what has been happening the last 2 years. And so they're just out of luck, and they're out of the scenario, and they're out of the rhythm. But I don't think, like, if you were to go trade stocks or trade Forex, you need a Bloomberg terminal. You need tons of information, and you're fighting against the best market makers in the world. In Cardano, we don't have that. It's you and me. It's retail against retail. Yeah, people say there's whale this or whale that. There's some big players in the ecosystem, but the biggest thing you'd probably need to watch out for is developers, right? And large whales that are also developers or something like that. But there's not these massive market makers that people make it out to be. In Cardano, when you get down to these Cardano native assets, it's you and me versus like maybe one giant big whale. But over the long term, those whales are not doing as much as we like to think. When you are in niche communities like this, like Cardano native DeFi or any L1 DeFi really, maybe besides Ethereum and Bitcoin, but a lot of the other L1s and L2s in our DeFi ecosystem, it's just regular people trading against each other. And so when you do this, you don't have to get super technical. You can be basic indicators, basic moving averages, basic MACD and RSI, don't really change the settings. And then if you look at it on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a very far out basis, you don't have to worry about the ins and outs of what's happening today, what's happening tomorrow. Why is it down 5% today? Because you're trading on a weekly and monthly basis. This is like the longest form of swing trading you can do. And this is how I think you can be successful in Cardano or in any ecosystem to get that 100x return, right? I know we all crave 100x, and I don't think my whole portfolio will 100x. I have a small portion in these Cardano native assets to do a 100x. I currently hold Hunt, LenFi, Indy, considering Milk. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll watch a couple other ones. Like if IAG gets down to a low enough price, I might buy in there. But this is the strategy I'm using to deploy a 100x in this ecosystem. And the way you can think about that is like I'm putting 1 to 3,000 in each one of these tokens that I've mentioned. And then from there, if each one of them 100x's, you could walk away with something like $2, $3, $4, $600,000 in 12 months. So I think the risk reward here is pretty awesome. I think it's something really worth looking at. Obviously, crypto, in my opinion, is part of the future, and these things are still speculative, but they are working. People can lend on Cardano. They can do this. They can use storage. They can use, World Mobile Token. They can do things on here. So it's not as speculative as people want to make it out to be, but I still think there's a lot of risk inherently. So I wouldn't go all in on one Cardano native token, but this is the very, very basic strategy I'm using to 100x my ADA portfolio in this bull market. I think, it's really worth the risk considering what I'm trying to do, trying to build up some portfolio like this and use basic strategies to my advantage. I've seen this kind of work over the past couple years, and so this is something I'm deploying myself. And I'm really curious to hear what you think about this, if you think kind of the same thing, or you think it's too risky, or you think it's not going to work, or you think they just won't run that much. I tried to put a lot of screenshots on the video of what I'm talking about here and how I think this strategy gets deployed to 100x. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this strategy? Do you think it's viable? Do you think it's good? Have you tried it? Are you going to try it? And do you think I'll walk away with a couple 100,000 or something? Let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to talk to anyone about it. My DMs are open on Twitter. Let me know. I'd be happy to share. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.